Hey everyone, today we are going to be continuing with the 2022 BMX bike build series on my channel with the Trails bike, aka Victoria's bike. And the first thing that we need to do before we get to putting different parts on this bike is get a weight on it, because the idea behind this is to make this bike as close to the bike that I ride at the skate park on a regular basis as possible. And to do that, we want it to be around the same weight. At the trails I probably won't notice as much, but the stuff we're putting on this bike is definitely lighter, so we might as well get a baseline with the Park Tools scale before we actually get into it. So I'm just going to do this real quick and we'll cut to having it on the scale. I'm just going to hang it by the seat and see what we got. Wait. We need guesses first. This bike has 2 plastic pegs, a non-folding tire in the front, a folding rear tire, a beefy front wheel, extra little bag on the frame, chromoly cranks, metal pedals. I'm going to say 27.5 pounds. Okay. This might be easier than I thought. Let's try that again. Right around 26 pounds. This is going to be pretty easy because my bike I ride on a daily basis is like 25.5. We got some, yeah, this is going to happen pretty easily. Sweet. So I'm going to get the scale put away and we're going to cut to a different angle with the first thing we're going to put on this bike. So for this video, I think we're going to be focusing on the rear end of the bike, which is going to completely change almost. And the first thing that we need to do here is take off the chain. This has nothing to do with the chain. We're going to take off the chain because if I'm going to be riding this at the trails, I definitely am not going to put my faith in cranking hard on a super cheap chain. Just my personal feelings. I want to make sure that I have complete confidence in the chain that I'm going to be using, and there went the pin. Oops. Making sure I put it all back together so that one day if I need this chain, it is here and it's solid. It's all good to go. Next, let's take off the cranks. Maybe. Ah, no, we got it. Alright, so this whole crank set is coming off. You can probably guess what's going on. And I totally forgot grease. We'll get it. Okay, so let's take this off. Take the sprocket off. Spindle spacer off. We're gonna need that. Okay, gonna need the cone spacer. Gonna be swapping out pedals as well. That's why I have complete faith that this bike will probably end up being, oh, actually, there's no probably. It's gonna end up being lighter than the bike that I ride normally. So I may actually end up keeping this front tire on here because it's a good tire for dirt, and I really don't care as long as it's similar in weight. So that was pretty simple. Next, what do we got here? Wow, the difference in weight. Obviously there's no pedals attached to this, but that's pretty wild. The difference in weight is significant. First thing we need is this side and the cone spacer. That goes in here because the spacing on this is, oh my goodness, oh so good. Then we need the little spacer that we had on the inside here. We need some Park Tool Poly Lube 1000 on the spindle. Probably should have put the chain wheel on there first, but you know what? That's just fine. It's fine. Bit more on here. And Then we'll throw the sprocket on, push all the grease to the back because I did it in the wrong order. Now I'll make it smooth so that hopefully we don't lose any of the grease. Grab our sprocket. This is temporary. I'm going to be putting a different one on here, hopefully in a future video. Sweet. Did not mess with the grease. I also forgot where the sprocket bolt is, and then rather than just like stressing to find it, I'm just gonna put everything together without it, and then we'll put it in later before I actually ride some trails with this bike. Always grease your crank arms, spindle, crank arm, all of it. It's dirty, but somebody's got to do it. And that somebody is you. You've got to do it. Okay. Plenty of space. I just tried to put the cap in the crank arm as a bolt. Oh boy. Tight, solid. Hopefully we can do triple crank flips. Next up, a set of Alienation foothold pedals. These are my go-tos right now. Until the foot fetish pedals are available, I'm a foothold guy. And at Woodward this past weekend and the weekend before that, the amount of these pedals that I saw was crazy. So many people love these pedals. A note that I always make whenever I'm tightening pedals is that when your bike is upright, both sides tighten towards the front of the bike. Right now we are tightening. Then when you go to the other side, you'll be rotating it towards the front of the bike to tighten. Okay, one pedal down. Get this one on here. I don't know about you guys, but I am excited about this warm weather and getting to go and ride some trails. My goodness, I am excited. Towards the front of the bike. Snug it up. Oh, that's smooth. Sweet. Okay, so now I need to relocate, and we're going to be doing something with the rear wheel of the bike. Alright, so this isn't something that I thought would happen, but I'm going to be taking the Profile Elite off of the Trails bike and putting on the OG Free Night Planetary Free Coaster. Temporarily. This is only temporary. I'm going to be doing an art project with the Elite and the front matching hub that I have, and they will be going back on this bike, but they have to come off and I have to completely take the wheel apart in order to do what I want to do. And in that process, I will fix that the valve stem doesn't line up with one of these easy to get to areas to pump up the tires. So to get this going, we're going to have to take this back wheel off. I may try to get different bolts for the rear on this. We will see. I don't know yet. Alright, so that's that. Gotta unhook the brakes. In the next episode, this bike is getting a whole new brake set. From lever to brakes, everything will be changed except for probably the brake pads. Gonna keep these. Maybe. We'll see. These brake pads feel like they might be dry rotted. They're pretty old. Let's air out. No. Okay. So we're going to have to take the air out of this tube, get the tire off, and then put it onto the other one. So let's just fast forward through that. Wheel off. I'm excited for this art project. It's going to be cool. Since we almost got this wrapped up, let's exit time-lapse mode. I think you'll notice that the tire that I have on here is the Animal GLHR folding tire, and this is actually, oh, it is a 210. Huh, it is a 210. I may leave this on here, but if it's like too light, if it is way, way, way lighter than my other bike, I may put one of the extra thick sidewall alienation Prowler tires on here that's a 225. I don't know yet. This will be very smooth riding through the trails, but it will also be very smooth riding through the trails and could lead to some slipping out if it's damp. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll be back when this tire's on. Now we can throw this back onto the bike and we can figure out the chain situation, which I will cut back down lower for. For some reason, there's an extra washer on this thing. Don't think I want to leave that on there. And you guys will probably remember that I drop everything, but this is the solid titanium custom axle that I had made for this hub. Having two washers isn't going to hurt anything. And this is only temporary. I'm not keeping this set up by any means. I just need enough time to do the art project and build the wheel back up. Alright. So we got that done. Brakes don't really matter. At the same time, this rim is way, way, way wider than my other one. So I'm gonna have to take that into consideration when I'm doing the brakes on this bike, because I don't want to set it up for a wider rim, and then depending on the situation, I'm gonna try to get different rims to build it up with that, but it's not gonna be able to happen yet. So there's some stuff there with the braking that will have to be accounted for whenever we do all of this. But we're ready to move back down to the chain before we finalize all of this and get another weight. We also got to take off those front pegs because we don't need those in the trails. Alright, here we are at the back of the bike to put on none other than the Odyssey keychain. I love this chain, and I hope that one day they start making it again. Let's get this one on. I'm not gonna lie to you, I already sized it up and figured it out because I didn't know what the situation was going to be, and I didn't want to have a million complications. I wanted it to go smoothly for once while I was recording, and it actually went pretty smooth while I was getting it all set up too, so that's nice. I've had this chain marinating in chain lube, in Park Tool chain lube, for months. Actually, maybe even close to a year at this point. So there we go. And actually, it can go back a little bit. I hope that it doesn't go too far back. No, that'll be good. That's pretty close to where I have it on my daily driver too. Ready for this? The double for sure, and if I get a good flick, triples are possible. That is awesome. Obviously I don't have it lined up perfectly, but she is indeed coming together. Let me know what you think it's going to weigh whenever I'm all done too, because I don't know what the weight difference would be on the rear wheel. It's not going to be final because that Elite rear wheel is going back on it. But either way, let's get the front pegs off and maybe clean some of this chain lube off so that when I ride, it doesn't turn into like a giant dust trap. All right, let's see. We'll move on. And the time has come to weigh the bike. I got the cranks on. I got the back wheel changed. I've got the different chain on there. I've got different pedals. I forgot to make a guess. Make a guess what you think it weighs now. I took off the front pegs. So I'm going to say that this thing weighs, it was 26.1. I'm going to say it's going to weigh 25.2. I haven't weighed it. Trust me, I haven't weighed it. Trust me, I'm a bike mechanic. No. No, that's too light. No. Redo. 24.10? There's no way. Zero it out again. Wow, this thing is ridiculous now. Okay, so here's the deal. I was going to put on a different front tire. This is a non-folding tire. I was going to put on a different one because I thought I might need to. But I guess I'm not going to now. And I think, too, I'm going to put... I have found another one of these. I think I might put the other one on the back of here just to make this thing a little heavier so that it's about the same. Because at around, wow, 24 pounds, 10 ounces, if I could get it to 25 and a half, I think will be good. And not to mention the fact that this wheel is probably heavier than the other one. I don't know, though. It's got a 3/8 aluminum axle on it, so probably. So, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to be putting brakes on this thing in the next video. I'm excited for that. We got a different sprocket that's probably going to go on there, and maybe a different seat. Definitely going to be a different front wheel. So, lots changed on this thing, but I needed to get it to a point where I could ride it so that when we go and ride and break in and ride in the trails, we are all good to go. So I hope you guys are enjoying this, and hopefully you'll subscribe if you haven't yet so we can see you tomorrow for another video and next time in the 2022 BMX Bike Build Series. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.